on hand. Saturday, October the 28th. AXS.com has all the info for you. If you dig Mushroomhead, let's get you there. Caller 10, 2 tickets for you. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
What feels great to do is absolutely free, can be done by yourself, and yet no one ever mentions it.
It's the Alan Cox Show
on the Buzzard.
WMMS.
Cuando se marea dolores, cuando se quema de amores, cuando se inmala su vela, cuando se inmala dolores, cuando se inmala dolores, cuando se quema de amores, cuando se inmala su vela, cuando se inmala su amores. Baila, 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 bailame, esta rumba, esta gitana, que yo siempre cantaré, pero no siempre cantaré, pero no siempre cantaré, esta rumba, esta gitana, veo que no siempre cantaré.
Gypsy Kings, anybody? Aren't they going back out on tour? They're playing the Goodyear Theater there in Akron. I'll take you. I don't think I'll have tickets to give away, but they're also playing the Wang Theater in Boston for people who are listening to the show in Massachusetts on iHeartRadio. That Wang Theater right there, boy, that is it's an oddly shaped arena, but I'll tell you what, the acoustics, unparalleled. If you listen to us on the app, whether it's from Boston or somewhere else, tell me where you do that. Isabel's in the St. Joe Benton Harbor area. Phil listens in Auburn, Alabama. War Eagle. Wendy's in Covina, California. Jeff listens in Wallingford, Connecticut. Cameron's in Waldorf, Maryland. And Barron is down in Scroggins, Texas. I was not having a good morning this morning, and I don't know why. It's just one of those days, in the immortal words of one Fred Durst. But you know what always cheers me up?
What?
Crispy bacon. Remember Crispy Bacon? Anytime the news anchor who can't get through the kicker story about the pig that doesn't have legs. Remember Crispy Bacon?
Yeah.
This is a local newscast. It's 15 years old. It's a long time ago, but it's always great. I would urge you. You find yourself, whether it's if you know why you're having a bad day already or you don't know. Some days you wake up and you go, God damn it, like nothing has happened yet, but you know it's going to be that. Paducah, Kentucky, which is right over the Ohio River from the very tip of southern Illinois. One of my friends in college, all my friends were getting into my friends in broadcasting were getting into the TV side, and I was getting into the radio side. A friend of mine, her first full-time gig was in Paducah, Kentucky. I don't even know who this guy is, but Chris P. Bacon clip will always cheer you up if you need it.
Now to the story of a pig that is inspiring others. One pot-bellied pig has certainly endured his share of problems. Chris P. Bacon was born without the use of his Yeah, you have to read this story. We cannot. Oh my God.
Imagine going to these kids and the kids go, "What's the pig's name?" Chris P. Bacon. What does that mean?
Means
you'll find out.
We gonna eat them.
You're not gonna have any animals? No. What about bacon? No. What about ham? No. What about pork chops?
Dad, those come from the same animal.
Oh, right. A wonderful, magical animal. Mary's favorite band is Fall Out Boy. Heard them back to back this morning on the radio. I was driving my daughter to school, as I do each and every morning, and Panic at the Disco was on. That is famously Poundcake's favorite punk band, Panic at the Disco. And it was that big hit they had. Mm-hmm. And my daughter...
They had a number of them. Which one?
The big one.
They had one. They had a big one. Anywho, my daughter goes, oh, turn this up a little bit. She likes that song, right? She's 7. That tracks. And She goes, what's this called? And I said, it's called I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. And she goes, what? And I said, exactly. So overwritten and gross. I feel like a douche just saying it out loud.
You didn't have to tell her the real name.
What was I going to say?
You could just say this is Panic at the Disco, baby.
Yes, I said Panic at the Disco is the band. What's the name of the song, she said. She can look at the display and see the name of the band and the name of the song.
Well, you could just tell her it's a really long name.
Why would I lie?
But you're not lying. You're saying it's a really long name, sweetheart.
Why would
You wouldn't
I?
understand.
Why would I shine around like that? Like, why wouldn't I just say, hey?
Parents do that all the time. You'll understand when you're older, sweetie.
Why wouldn't I? Well, anyway, I told her it wouldn't have occurred to me to make up a title, and she goes, "What? Right? Makes no sense."
the
Guys trying to get guys trying to get 3 measures of lyrics into 1 measure.
The detest you have for that band.
The what?
Detest?
Bill, I'm going to need a ruling. The detest that I have for that
Detest
band.
you have for that band. This is a Poundcakeism. That's my
No, it's not Poundcake-ism. He just doesn't know what it... It sounds like he glancingly knows what detest means.
I heard it a lot in the Shakespeare plays.
Yeah. Anywho, no, it's not for me, but it's just I don't like any overly written music. Overly written. Anyway, I mentioned Mary Santora because Fall Out Boy is going out there.
Yes.
And you might have seen the story that they made a batch of their new vinyl records infused with the band's tears.
I did not see that, but I love that.
The new album's called So Much for Stardust, and they called what they made Crynal. And now they
love this so much.
There were only 50 copies. Of course, they sold out instantly, but I bet that you could get one. I bet we could find a way to get you one.
Get me one.
Every Crynal release is filled with actual tears from the artist. There's a company that does this, and Fall Out Boy determined that it was necessary for their real, I don't know what their fans are called. Fallout fans, I don't know. Fallout heads. What are they called?
Falloutians.
As a fan base, are you referred to as anything?
No.
When you listen to a Crynal release, they say, you're not just listening to what the artist played, you're feeling what they felt.
That's awesome.
Utter contempt for the audience, I assume.
Right.
Is what they primarily feel.
Now, listen, you play any Fall Out Boy album on vinyl for me, there'll be tears on it if I have to sit through the whole
Infused.
thing.
Infused. So, yeah, they only made 50 copies of it, and they sold out, and they will be giving away some more. So all I would say is to keep your eyes peeled, Mary Lynn, and keep your ear to the ground.
Listen, here's the thing.
They will kick off their tour in Chicago at home on June 21. And they're coming here to Blossom, right?
Yes, July 18th. There's going to be so many tears. Mine, theirs, sweat, love, juices. It's all going to be there while I'm at
Sweat,
Blossom.
Love, Juices.
Yeah.
All right. The Fall Out Boy story. Yeah, well.
I would play that. I mean, I don't have a record player.
Did you get the new Fall Out Boy?
No, I don't have a record player.
It's not only I mean, if you listen to it.
I've listened
in
to
whatever modern format you choose.
No, I've just listened to the 2 singles that they released. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet.
Well, it is very telling though that, their fan base is not 17-year-old girls anymore. Their fan base are like
me.
40-year-olds.
Yeah.
So
what is that telling of?
That those are the people who might have a turntable in their house.
Well, record players came back heavy like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
but not necessarily with like kids.
With 20-year-olds,
hipsters.
21-year-olds.
Yeah.
So those people now who didn't have vinyl before started collecting vinyl in their 20s.
But were they collecting Crynal?
Just this one. This is the first I've heard of it.
Let me give you some money here. It's $1,000. It is a chance to get some cash from the Buzzard bookie last week to do it. So each and every one of these counts. Listen up.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Green, That's green. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Because our video is screwed up, I wanted to show people these AI mascots.
Try it again.
I don't know what's going on over here. It's just going back and forth. What I normally drag up top here is not... Oh, there we go. I don't know what I fixed, but there it is.
You did it.
So somebody came up, they wanted AI to generate
I love these.
mascots for the NFL. I'll go right to the Browns.
I mean...
Oop, I think I passed
Someone
it.
tagged me in this, and I didn't look through it.
There's the Browns. I don't know what
That looks exactly right.
I don't...
Absolutely.
But what is that supposed to be?
I think
It's a brown.
Yeah,
It's definitely a brown.
That's a Browns fan. That's what I think.
There's the Cincinnati Bengals.
I love the Cincinnati Bengals one. That might be one of my favorite ones.
He's just like a little kitten.
Yeah, he's like it looks like the Cheshire Cat.
Baltimore Ravens.
That one's weird.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I love
What
that
is
one.
he? A
Well,
bee?
just a Steeler.
Steely McBeam is
Yeah.
their mascot, but maybe I don't know what he put in. AFC South, there's your Indianapolis
Why
Colts.
does he have a giant bulge?
I saw that too, yeah.
He has a bulge.
Because he's number one.
Yeah.
Look at his jersey.
He's
Oh,
hanging
he's a
there.
titan.
There's your
Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguar. Is your Houston Texan.
That's actually pretty badass.
That's not bad.
The Raiders one is awesome.
The Titan has 4 eyes.
There's a Tennessee Titan.
Two
He looks like a.
mouths.
Yeah.
That's very
What makes
strange.
it a Titan?
Here's your AFC West. That's your Denver
Aw,
Bronco.
He looks like a My Little Pony.
I mean, someone's just wearing
He
a
looks
head
like he
hat.
listened to Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, right.
Here's
The
Bill's
Charger,
team.
yeah.
Bolt up. It looks like Ultraman or something.
But like a
Freakazoid.
janky one that's on Times Square, like a knockoff one.
There's your Kansas City Chief,
Yeah.
whatever
Oh,
the
I
hell
love
that's
him.
supposed to be.
Hand
He's
on the
an
hip.
Ernie.
The Great Space Coaster.
Or Bert. Which one's the serious one? Bert or Ernie?
Bert is the serious
He looks like
one.
Bert.
Yeah.
That is a. What is that?
It looks like a Day of the Dead.
A Las Vegas
Yeah.
Raider?
Yeah.
But it says Rarids.
Railroads.
Well, yeah,
Rar-
hey, I
rar-
can't nail script yet.
Yeah.
There's your Washington Commander. Oh, look at those
Dallas
eyes on that
Cowboy
Dallas
with the-
Cowboy.
Dum-dum.
Being drinking from somebody's still
Ooh,
out in the woods.
eagle. He's
Here's your Philadelphia Eagle. Looks
He's
angry.
scary.
It looks like Danny DeVito in Batman Returns as the Penguin.
Kind of, yeah.
He's missing a talon on his
This
toe.
one-
What is that?
That's the New York Giant.
Okay.
What is it?
Newt on his hat. NFC North. There's your Chicago
There's
Bear.
your bear, Alan. Brawr.
Here's
I
your
love the lion.
Detroit Lion is great.
The lion is actually really cool.
There's your
Yes.
Green Bay Packer. I don't know what the hell that
Looks
is.
like a Packers fan, I think.
Looks like a terrifying troll. A full-on Viking is your Minnesota Viking there.
That looks like a person.
Yeah.
Looks like the front man for Amon Amarth. NFC South. What is
It's a
that?
Buccaneer.
Oh, Jesus. The Buccaneer. And there's your Atlanta Falcon. The Pooh Nats.
The Pooh Nats, that's a Carolina Panthers.
There you go,
But
Pooh
the Pooh
Nats.
Nats is what they should change their name to. The Carolina Pooh Nats.
Why can't AI nail down letters?
Don't know.
It's your New Orleans
The
Saint.
Saints,
It's
which
like
is
a nun.
yeah,
NFC West. Your 49er.
a
Is he wearing
baby.
a diaper?
got a
He's
diaper?
wearing
Yeah.
a diaper. It's a baby.
Infant Prospector.
Yeah.
These are all AI renderings of NFL mascots. Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
He looks like Angry Bird.
LA Ram. And Jesus, what?
looks like
Seattle
that's
Seahawks?
Seahawks, but it looks like a Salee stack.
Ah, boy. There you go.
I think you missed the one like at the very that these are the honorable mentions that were
The Dallas Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Yeah. Your
the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bill.
That
Angry
one's
Bird.
even more Angry Birds for the
Mhm.
Cardinals.
I missed what?
The AFC
East?
yeah,
Buffalo Bill.
with the long arms.
Whoa.
There's your
The
Miami Dolphin. Yeah.
Dolphin's creepy. That makes me feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Masters Turters. They can't nail the,
It's the Jets,
letters
yeah.
down. Yeah, Jets.
And then
That's the
Patriots. yeah,
Well,
I
that's
love
pretty
these.
wild.
I love those.
I was reading an article about the guy who essentially developed AI and sold it to Google some years ago, and he has bailed on the whole endeavor because he said it's basically going to be the human apocalypse. They call this guy the godfather of artificial intelligence, a guy named Jeffrey Hinton, who says he's come to regret his entire life's work.
This is how all the scary movies start.
Mm-hmm.
He's quit Google to warn people of AI risks. Gee, great timing. I mean, I guess you never know when to stop, but I guess this guy got to the point where he said, we need to stop.
But, okay.
Because he said 5 years ago, you looked at it and you were like, okay, maybe we've got 10 or 20 years ahead of us. You look at it now and he's like, it's advanced so faster than anybody could have anticipated. And this is a guy who's devoted his life to this and says, we need to, because nobody wants to be the next Oppenheimer, right? This guy is like, hey, we really need to stop what's happening here because this is going to, by the time we even think we've got our arms around it, it's going to be completely gone and out of any control we might have. Because you figure, like, when you read these articles with people, even the experts in this field can only speculate as to what the future of this is. So
Because they're not as smart.
Well, they are smart. I mean,
As the artificial intelligence, human brains don't work that fast.
You take the sharpest minds in the field, and there's still disagreement on what the future is. And so I've got a great idea. If only we had a way to calculate the probabilities. Let's say if we had like a predictive model, right, that could take immense amounts of data and extrapolate it to decipher what might happen. Can we come up with something like that? Something that could tell us what AI is going to do?
Like AI?
Oh, right.
Oh,
That's a great
hold on.
idea. So this guy's like,
Just
look.
have AI tell us what they're going to do to us?
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to take over eventually.
But my question is, if us as individuals don't use it, what harm could it come to us
Well, because
versus a big corporation? Corporations always use things that
Right,
normal
but
people don't use.
because everything these days goes back to end stage capitalism. That's what it is. So this notion that, well, it's all inevitable, that's nonsense. It's companies that are developing this stuff that are trying to convince people that whatever's going to happen is inevitable. And that's essentially what this guy said. He goes, I rationalized it for decades by saying if I didn't do it, somebody else will do it. But even he came to the conclusion, he's like, that's still not an excuse. Nothing's inevitable. But to your point, companies, their only job is the bottom line, right? So on the corporate side, no one's going to stop this because they're salivating think of all the humans we can fire.
All the money we can save.
Think about this because, AI companies aren't going to stop because their valuations are going to go through the roof. And companies that want to integrate it won't stop because it'll allow them to get rid of more people. They figure this would be great for the bottom line. So it's not,
But then this big
whatever
thing,
it turns into is not going to usher in the end of everything. It'll be us that ushers in the end of everything. It was always going to be us anyway. And what we just can't stop, even if a bunch of people who know what's going on.
It's a flawed plan, though, because once you let
What's the flawed plan?
this artificial intelligence, whatever model you use, that if you fire all your employees and you're relying on this technology, that technology now knows all your trade secrets. So what does it need you for?
That's the point.
So it's like essentially the snake eating its own tail.
I mean, call it what you will.
So,
But I think the people who are saying, oh, these are doomsday sayers and blah, 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 you can file them with climate change deniers or we don't have a problem with guns. People that don't want to look at what's really, really going on and going, hey, guess what? Because right now, it's still like in the fun phase, right? Hey, look at these weirdo mascots. Hey, how about pepperoni hug spot? That's funny, right?
Did you see the beer commercial one?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Oh, so terrifying.
Terrifying. So it's still in this, like, I was reading a thing about how, like, people are getting AI-generated wedding vows. You don't know what you're going to say to somebody who, because listen, you know who your partner is.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they talk. You know what their voice is, for lack of a better word. I don't know who you think you're fooling if you're like, yeah, baby, I'll tell you what. That belly full balls empty guy could have really used those
Right.
AI wedding vows.
I think he did.
You think so?
Yeah.
Only two things are required to keep me happy: keep my belly full and my balls empty.
Yep.
Ugh,
So romantic.
Swing and a miss.
walk away.
So it's pretty wild. But this guy who they call the godfather of AI is like, please stop this stuff now because it's not going any direction good. It's not going anywhere good. But nobody will stop it. So until then, we'll have Pepperoni Hug Spot and weirdo beer commercials and hilarious NFL